This is the Fantasy Football Game Plan, where we talk about fantasy football and the NFL.
Okay. We have got to look at the NFC West today.
You're talking about Seattle because, who is throwing the football for them? I think on the roster they have Drew Lock, and they signed Geno Smith.
Yeah.
So, and then, but then there's all these talks about Baker Mayfield, and there's could be talks about drafting somebody. Interesting. Who knows? Yeah, what's going on in Seattle?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's really bad if you've got Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf. Those guys are great, but inconsistent with a good quarterback. I'm burying them way down second, third round this year because until that picture clears up, I cannot trust DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett.
Wasn't Metcalf looking for a trade at some point too?
Well, sure. I mean, who wouldn't be? With what's going on in Seattle right now, it's the best division in football. They've got the Super Bowl champs to contend with twice a year. Arizona will probably get their act together and be pretty good again. It's a tough division. The Niners are great,
Yeah.
Seattle's got nothing.
Yeah. But, they do have like that committee running back room too.
Well, Chris Carson, who's a great player, always gets hurt, but we don't know what their offense is going to look like. And then his backup, Rashad Penny, is really good too. But again, he's hurt half the time. So you got to have them both if you're going to get one. And I'm not going to spend a high draft pick trying to get either of them.
Yeah, it seems like that's like the sentence. You got to get them both. We talked about that last week on two teams. Now we're also talking about the same thing too on the running back for Seattle. So, yeah, I agree with you. They're injury prone. They also have that third backup guy, Dallas something,
DJ Dallas.
Okay, yeah. And he he was doing great last year when the other guys were going down, and then Chris Carson comes back at like week 14, and he's on the pine, and it's what's going on there. So maybe,
yeah,
if they don't have a quarterback really like locked in, maybe the running game is something to think about for this team.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
that was a good pun. Yeah, that was a good pun. Well, any one of those three running backs for Seattle are good, but I don't know. You might be right. I know that Pete Carroll wants to run the ball, but who will we run it with, and who will be healthy? I don't know. There's another guy, Noah Fant. He's the tight end, and they got him in the trade with Denver, the Russell Wilson trade. I liked him a lot when he was on Denver, but now that I don't know who's throwing him the ball, I'm burying him way down there in this draft as well.
We've talked about tight ends. There's only a couple of them in the league that you should really stretch for. So if Noah's around in round 10, pick him up.
Okay, that's fair advice. Who you got next?
Let's just go like south a little bit and go to San Fran.
Okay. So San Fran has a murky quarterback situation, right? I like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's sort of better than average. He's not a superstar, but he gives you some stability. We don't know what the Trey Lance offense looks like because he's a different kind of a player, a guy who can run more like a Lamar Jackson type guy. But we don't know, right? I mean, who do they want? First of all, who do they want to be their starter? It seems like Jimmy G's on his way out. He's injured. They can't trade him. Yes, lots of teams need a QB, but I mean, what's going on here?
I heard something about like he's just has too much money in that if they trade him, they just lose a bunch of money. So they kind of are handcuffed with him. So depending on if they play him or Lance, and I was a big fan of Lance last year going in. I thought this guy was a superstar. They traded down to get him, so they also believe in Lance. But what do you do with all this money with Jimmy G? And Jimmy G is interesting because he's just a quarterback that was like sitting around for years, came in for 4 games, showed some talent, and then signed a big contract. You know, like he's really, and he was injured last year for a good part of the year too. So is he really proven? You know, but like they do have threats and key players around Jimmy G that can make him great. But the big controversy right now is Deebo Samuel being like another very, I want to get paid, show me the money somebody, because the wide receivers right now are getting tons of cash. And I think he wants to get cashed in because his production last year was like 10 touchdowns receiving and 8 rushing, and 6 of those came at the last 4 weeks of the year. Like he just turned it on. So what do we do with Deebo?
Yeah, I mean, they had to use him as a running back, and the NFL doesn't value running backs the same way. But the wear and tear on your body at running back escalates, you know, the aging process. So he's got a point. I mean, if you're going to use him as the main ball carrier and the main receiver, you do have to pay him. But I don't think they have to trade him. So I mean, he'll have to hold out or something, because if I'm San Francisco, I'm not trading that guy. They should find a way to pay him. If they can move Jimmy G, then maybe they can pay him.
Yeah, but I think they got to move Jimmy G for like money or something like that. I heard something about like there's a lot of money tied in they can't touch. So yeah, but like I hear you. Like they're not trying. They're probably keeping Deebo as, you know, and if Deebo wants to play football, he'll play football and do great. So
yeah,
you know, but like, does he steal touches now from that rookie that they drafted last year, Mitchell? Yes. You know, so like really the key guy on this team is Deebo.
Yeah, I agree. And Brandon Ayuk looked pretty good in his first year, but then last year looked like Deebo was better than him. We have to see how all this plays out. There's too much uncertainty right now.
Especially, this is the same thing like Seattle. Like who's throwing the ball and what system are they playing? Is Jimmy G going to be a pocket quarterback? Is Lance going to be pocket and scrambler? It's tough. It's like what maybe clarity comes down in and I hate to say this, like in preseason.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe clarity comes a little bit clearer for both these teams in preseason to see what direction they're going to go with, right? With especially quarterback and wide receiver.
Yeah, we're going to have to revisit this later and talk about it again before the draft for sure. And hopefully next time it'll be a lot clearer of a picture. I do like Kittle, regardless of who's playing quarterback. He's one of the best tight ends. He's one of those top guys that we talk about all the time. So I would want him regardless of what goes on there.
And Kittle's still so many touches too. So Kittle's still going to be a top round guy, first round top guy. You know, pick him up.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my favorite player on this team right now, Kittle for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to Arizona next if you're ready to move on. I know there's a lot of stuff in the press about Kyler Murray and unhappy and wants to be traded, blah, blah. They're not going to move Kyler Murray. There's quarterbacks are few and far between in the NFL. He's one of the great ones. They're going to keep him. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. This is all just a bunch of blah, blah, this off-season noise.
Well, yeah, the noise that you hear is absolutely true. This is, like you preluded in the conversation, that one of the best divisions in football. You know, obviously the AFC West is also a contender of the best. So you're not moving your quarterback, you know, especially last year when they were competing. Like didn't they finish number 1 in their division last year because of Kyler Murray and his skills, right? And then the weapons that he gets around him, right? Like you have like Hopkins, like probably top 1, 2, 3 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, he's just, and he does it all. He has the fast feet. He's quick, scrambles, accurate. Not moving him. He's your guy. They're just going to keep paying him. Yeah, he's solid pick.
Yep. And, DeAndre Hopkins, when healthy, one of the best receivers in the league, regardless of the quarterback. So he's a great player. You want to look at him. If he's healthy, he's a guy I'd love to draft. Rondale Moore is the next best receiver that's still on the roster this year. And I think he'd be a good sleeper kind of a pick, somebody to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
And we like Zach Ertz, the tight end, on this team as well. He was great last year, and now he's in his second year with the team.
Yep. Yeah, it's all good stuff in Arizona. These guys are putting up points in the running back room. They have the old Pittsburgh running back, Connor.
James
and then
Conner.
they have that rookie that kind of came in last year with a little bit of steam. And so that's another sleeper on this team is that Benjamin.
Benjamin, yes.
He is someone definitely to think about because Connor can't do it all, and there you go. So there's some great players, definitely top rounds in here, and also a little bit deeper too.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Cliff Kingsbury needs Kyler Murray. They're going to figure that thing out and get him some more help in the draft. And they should be another top team. Next year they should be top team again.
Yeah, their defense is just there's a defense to get after too, right? If you can get a defense, go for Cardinals. We don't really speak about defenses too much, but this is definitely, I think, one of the top tier defenses in the league right now coming in.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And now we're going to move on to the Super Bowl champs, if you're ready.
Woo! Everything happens in LA.
Yeah. So Matt Stafford, I think he's QB1. I think based on last year Super Bowl, I think he's going to be more confident this year. Second year in the system, he's only going to get better. He's got lots of help from Cooper Kupp, arguably the best receiver right now. And then they went and signed Allen Robinson, who's a great player, underutilized from Chicago, right?
Yep. Which is like Robinson, he didn't play last year for some reason. He just I don't know, maybe it's because Chicago's so bad.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get their quarterbacks figured out. But wow. Just the strength of this probably has to be one of the best receiving cores with Van Jefferson as well too. Almost as good as Vikings. Or Bills. You're putting these guys up against Kupp, who just breaks tackles. Robinson, who can go up and be 50-50 ball, and Van Jefferson that just streaks.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Stafford with a cannon.
Right.
I followed Matthew for years being a Detroit guy. And, this, it's one threat after another threat after another threat. And we haven't even talked about the running backs who catch passes too. Right?
Yeah.
So, Cam Akers coming back, he's not going to tore an Achilles this year. He's going to be full in there. And then they had that rookie guy that came in last year to fill in for Akers, which was amazing. He was such a sleeper. Henderson?
Darrell Henderson Jr. Yeah, I think he'll probably get a few more carries. That's cleared up a little bit. They've got it down to 2 running backs now. I think Sony Michel is not under contract anymore. He'll end up somewhere. Interesting. He's been in the league 5 years. He's got 2 rings from 2 different teams. So good for him. Someone will pick him up because he's an experienced running back, but they've got Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson Jr. And they like to feature the running game. They'll get lots of attempts. Those guys. Cam Akers should be probably a low first round running back pick next year, or a high second round pick.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that we talk about. Get them both. Pick up Akers and see if you can get Henderson on the third.
Yeah,
third round, and then you'd be a pretty solid backfield. But yeah, it's interesting how big this team is when it comes to just talent. this is definitely another Super Bowl contender if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
The defense got a little bit of, people kind of move, but the key guys like Floyd and Donald are kind of still kicking around. So, they're going to put pressure on the quarterback. They're going to do well. Their safeties and corners, they're a good, solid team. I think they may have even got stronger this year with Allen Robinson. So it's interesting to see what they do and how they do against one of the toughest divisions. Like, they have to play San Fran and they have to play the Cardinals. So, I'm not sure where they're traveling to, the NFC West, like who's their other opponent, but whatever division that sees them, they're gonna have trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we both had Tyler Higbee on our rosters on and off last season. I'm moving on from him. I don't trust him anymore. I don't think they feature him enough in that offense. And he's coming off an injury. So
yeah, and just like Fat, he's someone you can pick up with. It's not like he's like a bad tight end. He's just someone that you just, if he's not the top 3, top 4 tight ends, he's somebody that can do something for you. So don't throw him away. Other people out there, you might want to throw him away, Sean. But I'm just saying, like, he is somebody that does see a little bit of the offense, but maybe he's not going to get your numbers. So it depends on your draft pick or how your draft is. For me, it's just snake, but for you, it's like money down. So, maybe don't stretch for him for $1. That's fine. Don't stretch for him for $1. But if you're going up and down the ladder and you have Stafford as a quarterback, you might want to have him as like a receiver, as a tight end, because you got to fill that tight end spot, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you have him.
Oh, I won't pick. It all depends. Whatever I draft, I don't know, because I don't know what my order is. But if he's there, but definitely Akers. If I'm top 4, top 5, I'm picking Akers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I think he's going to be a contender.
Yeah, I've got him sort of as a low first rounder. There's a bunch of other guys that we talked about last time that are better than him, but he's on a good team that goes, through the running back. So with that system, he's going to get lots of touches.
Well, that was the NFC West. We got the rookie draft coming up. Right?
That's true. Yeah, I think we should keep going. And keep looking at the AFC. And then once the draft has taken place, we'll start sprinkling in, who we think are the best fits after the draft, because it's not just how good the player is, but it's where does he end up and how will he be used?
Yeah.
In terms of ranking, rookie wide receivers and rookie running backs and QBs and stuff. So I think we should just carry on with what we're doing, and then once the draft is over, we'll rank those drafted players. How does that work for you?
Love it. So where do you want to go next week then?
Okay, well, let's do AFC
North. We do the same thing, north, south,
Sure.
east, west.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. All right, NFC North.
Got it.
Steelers. Browns.
Okay.
Oh, Browns, our favorite team.
All right, I'll save it for next time.
All right, take care.
Talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching the Fantasy Football Game Plan podcast. Need coaching on your lineup? Drop us a line and we'll discuss your dilemma.